Denise. Denise. It's Denise. It's Denise. It's Denise. Denise. It's a podcast party. It's a podcast party. It's a podcast party.
I gotta say, I feel like we're besties now after this. What's up, guys? It's Denise Salcedo. Hello there, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to the show. It is Denise here. My goodness, it's the end of the week. So I got to tell you guys, right now, I've been at this table now, sitting here at this desk for 13 hours. No, 13, like I sat here, I got here at like 6:35 a.m., 6:40 something a.m. It is now 8:07 p.m. and I'm still here. I had 3 podcasts today. This is the 3rd podcast, a zillion videos, an interview, an article I had to write, a bunch of editing. On top of that, I messed up my shirt. I cut it all wrong. It's a disaster. On top of that, we had the WWE NXT releases today. There is just so much happening. I'm hanging on here by a thread, all right? Everybody hanging on here by a thread. But we have lots to get into here today. We are going to be chatting WWE SmackDown and AEW Rampage April 29th. And from the looks of it, everybody in the chat, because I asked everybody what you guys want me to talk about first, everybody said SmackDown. So we are going to kick things off today with SmackDown, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into AEW Rampage. Don't worry, there's only so much to talk about, so we will get through everything in a nice pace. All right, so let's do this, everybody. Also, for those of you who are here for the first time, this is a very interactive show. Do not be shy. Take part in the chat. I'll pull up some of your guys' comments. If you want to help support this podcast, if you want to help me out, and I was going to say, and help make these, like, what did I say? 13 hours of being here at this desk. You can send in a super chat and I will make sure to read those on here on this stream. They help me out and they also get your comment read here today. So we're kicking things off actually with Darth Steven C77, who sends in a super chat saying, happy to finally be able to catch the live post show again. My heart goes out to all who were released, praying for the best for everyone. So I did a podcast already on the NXT releases, so I won't be diving in too much into that. If it comes up, it comes up. But I mean, guys, just to give you guys a general summary of how I felt about the NXT releases, Dakota Kai, big mistake. Shouldn't have let her go. She should have been on the main roster a long time ago. Harland, I kind of feel bad for him. Didn't get a real opportunity. Dexter Lumis, things were finally starting to sort of turn around on NXT 2.0 for him, but even then, things were pretty stale for him at that point. Malcolm Bivens is certainly going to be missed as the voice of the Diamond Mine. Great personality, really funny, phenomenal on the mic. He will be missed. And everybody else was kind of, we didn't really get to see much of them, to be honest. So thank you so much to Darth Steven C77 for sending in our first super chat of the day. But let's get into WWE SmackDown. So, I have to be honest, guys. I've been struggling the last couple of weeks with SmackDown, and you guys already know this. This is nothing new. I am having a hard time getting through the show, especially watching live, and I kind of have no option but to watch live because I'm on the West Coast and I have to watch on the Fox Sports app. I'm struggling a little bit, guys. It's a little bit of a tough show for me to get through, especially when there's not a lot that's very meaningful on the show. And today, when I'm here for like hours, I kind of felt like today SmackDown kind of sucked a little bit of my energy out. So when I was going into Rampage, I was kind of like, oh my God, I've been here forever. That sort of momentum. So I will have to say SmackDown did drain a little bit of my energy today. Thank you so much to Darb Steven, who sends in a super chat saying, thank you for Denise for everything. I appreciate it. I feel bad, guys, but SmackDown is kind of a little bit of a mission to get through, guys. I have an easier time reviewing NXT 2.0, which I've said before. I don't know why, but it's a tough show to get through for me. So we kick things off with a steel cage match between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. This was actually one of the highlights of today's show. They've been doing this now for a couple of weeks. They have had Sami Zayn essentially run out, trying to avoid the Claymore kick from Drew McIntyre. And so this led to, this is now their third match together. So this is looking like officially that's it. This will be the final match from this series. It culminated inside a steel cage match. It wasn't bad. They had Drew Gulak today as a timekeeper for the entire night, which was pretty funny. It kind of paid off in the end. We essentially had, it was kind of a little bit of a slow start for a steel cage match, but immediately, Sami Zayn is trying to get out. He's trying to climb out, but Drew McIntyre isn't allowing it to happen whatsoever. I kind of liked this. I liked, there was a couple of good spots during this, some of which included a superplex off the top of the cage, which was really, really impactful. I really like that. Really like seeing Drew McIntyre toss Sami Zayn from like one side of the ring to the other side of the ring. So even though it was a little bit of a slow start, immediately after the commercial break, it really picked up. The finish was fun. Seeing Sami Zayn essentially get the Claymore kick finally, paying off. We get the Claymore kick. So that was good. This feud with Sami Zayn, this like 3-week feud with Sami Zayn, has actually been a major step up for Drew McIntyre, a major step up, because prior to this, he was feuding with like Shanky and Jinder, and then he went into Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin. So he's kind of been going from like one goofy storyline to another goofy storyline to another goofy storyline. But thankfully, it looks like this is officially the end of these goofy storylines for Drew McIntyre, and we're going to talk about why in just a second, because we've had a major change to a WrestleMania Backlash match, which we'll talk about in just a second. But overall, decent opener between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn in this steel cage match. Let's get some comments in here and see what people are saying about this. This is from the Coyote, who says, I love Sami. This was great. He's always entertaining. Yep, I like it. He's always entertaining. He's definitely the person that you're going to do this kind of match with because he can make it work. Sami Zayn is the guy that can make pretty much anything work. All right, so now let's go ahead and continue on from here. So after this, we got a segment from Happy Talk. All you need to know about this is that this was the segment when I realized that they've been piping in crowd sounds for a while now, but this one really stood out because you had Happy Corbin doing his thing, right? So he's talking about, he's out there in his little talk show with his talk show sets and all of that. And he basically gets out the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal trophy. He brings it out and he's telling everybody that he's going to smash it and he's going to smash it to pieces. Okay. They bring it out, but instead it ends up coming from the back. We end up seeing Madcap Moss. So Madcap Moss pops in with a sledgehammer. And so he goes after Happy Corbin and you hear like this pop. And I was like, man, Madcap Moss is seriously over. And then I was like, wait a minute, Denise. Don't forget that they pipe in the crowd sound. So I was paying close attention to like the audience and everything. And this one was very obvious that they piped in the crowd sound because you can hear everybody going, woo. But then everybody on the screen is just like doing this. They're doing nothing. So they want Madcap Moss to be over. And sometimes if you're not paying close enough attention, you think that he is over. But either way, Madcap Moss takes out Corbin, and that's pretty much what we got during this segment here. Leonard Aarons III sends in a super chat saying, the change to the main event tells you all you need to know about what WWE thinks about tag team wrestling within their company. So the change, and we'll talk about that in just a second too, it kind of makes me think like I wanted the titles to be unified already. I kind of saw that as a relief. The fact that we were going to get the tag team titles unified. I was like, okay, good. You know what? At this point, just do it. That's how I kind of felt about it. And I know some people are like, nah, let's keep them separate and this and that. I kind of thought at this point, just freaking unify them and there. End of story, right? But it doesn't seem like they're going to be doing that anymore because now instead of it being a tag team match for the titles and to unify the titles, it is now a 6-person tag. So we'll talk about that more in just a second. But thank you so much to Leonard Aarons III for sending that in. And alrighty, so after this, we got Shanky versus Ricochet for the Intercontinental title. This was a really bad match. It was not good. Shanky essentially dominated like the first portion of this match, which gave us nothing. Like there was nothing to talk about there, but he dominated the first portion of this match. And Jinder Mahal, there's a moment where Ricochet goes to the top rope. Jinder Mahal essentially pulls the leg, and so he drops him down so Ricochet doesn't end up going for the high spot that he was planning on. Ricochet still ends up winning with a roll-up, and it was just a bad match. Shanky didn't get over. Ricochet didn't get over. The title means even less. When you're going out there and not having competitive matches for the title, for a title that has already been relinquished so much where it kind of doesn't even mean anything anymore on the show, it just adds to it. It continues to add to the fact that nobody cares about the Intercontinental Championship right now in this moment in time. So I was terribly disinterested in this. And also, I noticed that a lot of the matches that we saw today were like pretty much very, very short, brief matches. So it kind of made everything feel like not very fast, like in a good way where the show is fast paced, but rather like it doesn't mean anything because you're just going out there, you're having like a couple of spots, bam, match ends, moving on. Like there isn't anything to make you say like, oh my God, I'm so into this right now. So I was not a big fan of the Shanky Ricochet Intercontinental Championship match. There was not much to say there. But now this one kind of gives us a little bit more to talk about. Actually, we do got a super chat. Thank you so much to Punk Rock Show 84, who says, curious, did they enhance the crowd during the post-WrestleMania Raw episode? Seems too convenient that every crowd was louder during post-Raw. I don't remember too much of that. I know that the post-Raw Mania was a little bit, like one of the criticisms was the Cody entrance because it kind of took people a little bit more, like it took them a while to actually react to that. And I remember that. I remember people weren't reacting to Cody until Cody was kind of like signaling people and like kind of like enhancing them to like make some sound. Like he was, doing gestures. And then finally when he was about like midway into the ring or like about to go into the ring, like people were reacting. But like prior to that, there was not much of a reaction there. But I don't remember if they like piped in sound for like everything or anything like that because I just don't remember. But thank you so much to Punk Rock Show for sending in this super chat as well. And let's go ahead and talk about Raquel Rodriguez. So this is actually one of the highlights we need to talk about. And it's kind of sad though, because this is going to tie into the releases because I think we need to talk about this person during this. But Raquel Rodriguez is officially made her in-ring debut on SmackDown. And she's already made her SmackDown debut, but she was doing all of those backstage interviews with Kayla Braxton and all of that. But this was her in-ring debut as she went up against Kat Cardoza, And this was really, it It was good, okay? It was good. What I personally liked about this was that Raquel came out. She was very happy, and I know a lot of people were trashing that on Twitter. I saw it, but I'm like, you know what? The girl looks great. She has a phenomenal smile. Let her go out there. Let her be happy. Let her do her thing. Let her smile, because apparently she was told that on NXT she shouldn't be smiling too much. She was told not to smile, but she said that her real life persona, like who she really is in real life, is a very happy, smiling person. So she finally is kind of showing that side of things on SmackDown. And I know a lot of people were like, she smiles too much. I'm like, I don't have an issue with that whatsoever. I think she looks great. She went out there and there was a moment where she lifts up Kat with one arm. She lifts her up, and throughout this entire match, they're pretty much showing that Raquel is strong. Raquel is powerful. I liked the presentation of Raquel for this, and they gave Kat a little bit of offense during this, but obviously not enough to bring down Raquel. So I like this. We saw a moment where Raquel did a shoulder tackle. She literally tossed Kat into a corner, slammed her twice. Really good stuff. One with the Chingona bomb. And so she looked good. She looked glamorous. She looked really gorgeous. I don't know what I think she like cut her hair, maybe added a little bit of highlight, a little bit of color, but she looks a lot more glamorous than she did when she was on NXT. So I do want to shout that out too. She looks like she's bringing the main roster vibe. So I want to shout out Raquel for that as well. But the one thing that I kind of felt, and maybe I was just like too much in the zone, and the releases occurred today, and the person that we've been really talking about a lot is Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai is, unfortunately somebody that never got her moment in the sun. She never got the opportunity to go out, to Raw or SmackDown and have her moments, right? After all these years and all that work, she didn't get her proper moment on the main roster. Now, Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai have an on-screen history. We know that already. They were tag team partners twice, kind of got screwed out of both championship reigns twice. But regardless, they feuded back and forth. They had an entire friendship there. But also behind the scenes, they are legitimate best friends too. So I personally was like, man, it's kind of like sad. Like it's bittersweet, because on one hand, you're like, man, like Dakota Kai, got released and it freaking sucks. But at the same time, it's like, oh, Raquel is making her in-ring SmackDown debut. So you have like one happy thing and one sad thing. And I'm like, damn, best friends. And it ended up happening on the same exact day. Like, I kind of think that kind of sucks. So I do kind of feel bad for Raquel and Dakota on that side of things, because I think at the end of the day, you kind of have like that moment a little bit like, the broadcasting moment, like a little bit, it sours it, it sours it. Like even your friend just lost their job and all of that. So I did kind of think about that while I was watching this, but either way, Raquel looked phenomenal. We got a super chat from Brandon Rosen who says WWE only cares about the top championships. Nothing else matters. There's not much to add about that. I mean, we can spiral off into like 15 different conversations about that, as we've had in the past. But thank you to Brandon for always being so generous on here. And let's see what else we got here, guys. We got people putting over Raquel Rodriguez as a beast. Power Driver Finisher says, I love the call out from Pat McAfee calling her a chingona. Yeah, Pat McAfee, there was a moment during this match where forgot what he was saying, but he was like, mas. And I was like dying because Pat McAfee was trying to throw in a little bit of Spanish in there. So I thought that was really funny. Kind of lightened things up and made things really fun. Michael Bigelow says, Raquel is great either as a babyface and a heel. She's good either or, man. We've seen her in both situations now, and she looks pretty good regardless. And let's go ahead and move on. Sheldon also points out, let's not forget that this was taped last week. Yeah, that's why I said the broadcasting, because regardless, it's like, just because it happened last week doesn't mean you're not going to be watching today and being like excited about it, So like, it kind of ruined the moment of like, hey, everyone's going to finally see me. Like the broadcast is out, So while it wasn't like the exact same day that it was taped, it was still the moment of the broadcasting being ruined. Pile Driver finishes as Pat McAfee for Spanish commentary. Oh my god, amazing. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this RK Bro Uso segment. So we got two things out of this, and I'm not going to bore you guys with the details of this, but this was supposed to be a contract signing for the title unification match that was going to be taking place at WrestleMania Backlash. And instead, there was a moment where Roman Reigns comes out. He's helping out his boys. Drew McIntyre comes out to help out freaking oh my gosh, I'm blanking on RK Bro, to help out RK Bro. And so immediately you're like, they're either going to just do Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre now, or they're going to go ahead and do a 6-man match instead, leading to the eventual match when we get Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns eventually down the line, because we all know that's really the only like big match left for Roman Reigns right now on SmackDown. Like Drew McIntyre is like legitimately like the only like top challenger left for Roman Reigns right there. So they did officially make this a 6-person tag. So we're going to be seeing the Usos and Roman Reigns take on RK Bro and Drew McIntyre. So now they're not going to be doing the title unification. So that is a little bit interesting considering that they've spent the last couple of weeks basically building up to this. Man, I'm trying to think what else in regards to this. I'm looking forward to when they eventually get to Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns in singles competition. But I do like that we're at least like taking our time to get there. But now it kind of feels like everything else that happened between like the Usos and RK Bro kind of just doesn't feel like it had to necessarily happen. Alrighty. Let's see if we got anything else. Nope. Nobody else is adding anything about this. Man. All right, moving on. Let's see. We got a couple more things to talk about for SmackDown, and then we'll jump into Rampage. We got Naomi and Shayna. I have not been a fan of the booking of Sasha and Naomi as a tag team. Like, they are a very, very cool tag team. They look great. They match their gear. They're fun. They're both likable people. Personally, just seeing Naomi go out there and get essentially beat by Shayna. Shayna hits a suplex on her. The match itself was not good. Like, I don't care if Naomi loses, whatever. But the point is the match itself was not good. Like, there was nothing much to say about it. Like, nothing happened. It was a very nothing match. Afterwards, Natty comes in and attacks Naomi after she already lost the match. And so Sasha Banks gets in the ring. She goes after Natty, but Natty ends up getting her in a sharpshooter, and then Shayna ends up finishing off Naomi afterwards too. So in terms of it, kind of just, they haven't been booked to be presented as a cool tag team. Like, they haven't given me a reason to want to cheer for Sasha and Naomi, aside from the fact that I already like them. I haven't been given an additional reason to say, you know what, they're such an awesome tag team. Let's get behind them. No, instead they're just kind of out here taking a beating to Shayna and Naomi. So, and I'm super over Shayna and Naomi as a tag team. Shayna and Natty. I'm super over Shayna and Natty as a tag team. I'm done. Like, I have no interest in Shayna and Natty as a tag team. They just haven't done much for me to say, like, I'm interested. They haven't, like, won me over. So for me, this was just not a nothing segment for me, which bums me out too. Let's see what we got here. This is from Leonard, who says Sasha and Naomi have a similar thread to the last handful of women's tag champs, talented solo folk that the company has nothing for on their own. So here are these tag straps. Tag division is moot. Exactly. Like, again, two fine competitors on their own, and they had a pretty good opportunity as a tag team to do something cool, but they're not doing it with them. I would like to see better creative for Sasha and Naomi for sure. And I kind of want to see Shayna go off and do her own thing already. Natty go off and do her own thing already. And I get it. Like, without them, there's not much of a tag team division left, but I've seen it, been there, done that already way too many times with Natty and Shayna. So I kind of definitely lost interest with that. All right, let's go ahead and move on from here. After this, we got a quick match between Xavier Woods and Ridge Holland. Once again, Xavier Woods wins with the backwoods. And the big thing here is that Butch is missing. Where's Butch? We don't know where Butch is at. They're looking for Butch. They don't know where he's at. That's what you need to know. We don't know where Butch is at because he is out of control and they lost him. That's what's going on. Sheamus then challenges Kofi. They had this whole thing where they were calling Sheamus Shake It Sheamus. So, like Wreck It Ralph, but Shake It Sheamus. It got over with the crowd. The crowd was chanting Shake It Sheamus. They were doing that. But man, I feel bad. I feel bad because I'm trying to get the people excited about what we're seeing here today. But if I'm not excited, I don't know how to get you people excited. Doppelganger399 says, Butch is hiding from WWE Creative. YT says, Butch is currently in my dorm room doing homework. Yeah, Butch is in my kitchen washing the dishes. All right, so after this, we got a quick match between Sheamus and Kofi. Sheamus won with the bro kick. Nothing else to add there. Now, the Lacey Evans promo. So I told you guys last week I was a fan of it, and I legitimately was. I'm still a fan of it this week, but I did say, remember I said this, because a lot of people were like, Denise, no more. We've already been doing too many of these weekly Lacey Evans promos, okay? And I agree with you guys. I missed 1 week of SmackDown, so for me, it didn't feel like as many because I didn't watch 1 week of SmackDown. And so I'm willing, and I said this on the last show, I'm willing to tolerate 2 more of these. So that's it. Today was 1. We got 1 more left. And afterwards, we need to start seeing Lacey Evans back in action. She needs to start getting in there because these stories are great. They're, I'm sorry, I can't help but to, I'm going to root for her, obviously, because these stories are deep, they're true, they're real, they're genuine. I do fully believe all of those things. And you can't help but to root for somebody that had, a hard upbringing and made something of themselves and all of that, right? But I do agree with everybody when they say you only could do so many of these. And I believe this is now chapter 4. So like I said, 1 more week. And after that, I'm going to start complaining. But right now, I'm going to tolerate it. I'm going to tolerate it. All right. Pile Driver Finisher says, still the sob story Lacey Evans has done next week. You have 1 more, Denise. I'm done. I know everybody else is done. I'm giving it 1 more week. All right. That's it. Watch. Imagine they're like, oh, the final chapter next week. They probably would do that. We got the Kayoput who says, it's definitely too many promos with Evans, but WWE loves their promos. They will beat you into submission within 5 hours of TV time each week. Eat those promos. Saul P says, Lacey Evans' story is cool, but she never had to fear the chancla like I did. She had it easy. Okay. I did not know you were going there with that, but that was pretty damn funny. All right. Good joke. Thumbs up. I always pop for ridiculous jokes. All right. Sean Williams says, we all had a hard upbringing or something gone wrong with our lives. I don't want to see it on an entertainment show. I get it, though. They're building some sympathy for her. They're garnering some sympathy for her, but not just some sympathy. No, I'm wrong. No, they're not. I think to a certain extent, they're trying to get some sympathy for her, but at the exact same time, I think they realized that the previous character of Lacey Evans was so tarnished, people were not digging it, that they had to completely, go a different direction. And so now they're really want us to like Lacey Evans. So that's why they're sharing these constant back-to-back promos. But like I said, guys, I can't root against her because at the end of the day, the material and what's being said in these promos, I can't root against that. I'm not a villain. I'm not made of stone. I cannot root against that. She's talking about her father not showing up to graduation. She's talking about not being blessed with support, not having positive feedback, not, always having these positive pats on the back. Man, I can't root against that, okay? I just can't. So again, 1 more week of these Lacey Evans promos, then I'll start complaining because we need to see her in action or at least do something different. We got a super chat from Pile Driver Finisher who says, I want to cry. I watch This Is Us. You You know what? I get it. Oh my God. I get it. I get it. Now, somebody earlier just said that they didn't want to see like sad stuff on their entertainment show. Sean Williams said that. The second you mentioned This Is Us, it clicked in my head. You want to know why? I started watching This Is Us because I love Mandy Moore, and it was a very good dramatic program. I stopped watching it because it was just too depressing, and I didn't want to have that in my life. So I stopped watching This Is Us like 4 or 5 episodes in season 1. And I was like, nah, I don't need this depression. So I get it now. I get it. But to be fair, the Lacey Evans thing, I don't think it's like, it's just different. Like, obviously, This Is Us. They really dramatized it and really made that stuff depressing. Alrighty, let's move on though. Let's get into a couple of match announcements that were made for next week's SmackDown. Next week, we're going to see Kofi and Xavier take on Sheamus and Ridge Holland in a tables match. Cool. And Shayna versus Sasha Banks. Cool. Moving on. The main event of SmackDown was the Beat the Clock Challenge, because Beat the Clock challenges are so much fun. Yeah, we already know what Beat the Clock challenges are, guys. They do these all the time, mostly for the women's feuds, though. But they do them. Basically, the goal here is for Charlotte or for Ronda to defeat their opponent in a faster time than the other woman. All right, so it's Ronda and Shotzi. No entrance for Shotzi. Shotzi basically starts running away like they're playing tag on a schoolyard. I kind of like this. It was kind of clever. Okay, fine. So Shotzi's running around the ring and Ronda's chasing her because she's like, damn, girl, I'm on a time clock here. A time crunch here. And so afterwards, they get back into the ring and Ronda essentially locks in the ankle lock and Shotzi quits and she's at 1 and 41 seconds. Cool. So then Charlotte gets her match with Aaliyah. And so Charlotte takes her time. She goes in there a little cocky, a little confident, and she knows that she can defeat Aaliyah rather quickly. And Aaliyah surprises everybody, and she like hits an insecurity on Charlotte, and Charlotte gets her with a clothesline. And then all of a sudden, this match is not over. Charlotte's not able to finish this match off as fast as she'd hoped. Aaliyah goes for a crossbody. Charlotte moves, so she just hits the mat. Charlotte locks in the figure 8, and there's like a couple seconds left. And so she hangs on, and she doesn't tap until afterwards. So she taps after the time is up. So Ronda ends up winning this challenge because Aaliyah lasted and Charlotte wasn't able to defeat her in the 1 and 41 seconds. Okay. So Ronda wins. Charlotte gets super angry. She's pissed off and she goes and she attacks the timekeeper, who is Drew Gulak, and she hits him with the freaking bell in the back of his on his back, and basically blames Drew Gulak for losing this match. Says he can't do his job well, calls him stupid, and that is how the show ends. The Beat the Clock stuff, it's hokey. There's nothing else to add about this. I don't know what else to say. Alrighty. And moving on from here, let's go ahead and get some thoughts on this and see what people are saying. King of Fuego Mundo says, please, no more Beat the Clock matches. I agree. And damn, we're not getting any positive comments today, guys. And I'm sorry, but there was nothing positive here. Nothing positive to add. Sean Williams says Shotzi needs to be with her friend Athena on the safe refuge of the jobber role she has been stuck with. Yeah, I felt really bad too for Athena. She recently did that interview with Chris Van Vliet, and she talks about, I think that she says that moment when Shotzi was sent over to SmackDown, even though they were a tag team. And then when she mentioned that creative didn't even know that Ember Moon and Shotzi were a tag team, I just thought, oh my God. I felt really bad for Athena on that. That must have sucked. It's like, bro, like, you don't take, like, it's sad. It's like, hey, your tag team partner that you've been doing stuff with is moving up, you ain't. Oh, and we found somebody else that could take your spot. Think about that. Like, come on, we're all humans. That would sting. That would definitely sting for sure. And alrighty, there you guys go. That was Friday Night SmackDown. Good stuff. All right, let's go ahead and get into AEW Rampage. But before I do, before I get into Rampage, friendly reminder as always, guys, I'm here 3 times a week. Next week, it is officially the week going into WrestleMania Backlash. Next week is WrestleMania Backlash. So I'll probably have some additional shows. I'll figure that stuff out. But for the most part, here on F4W Online, I will be on here on Tuesday. And Tuesday is going to be interesting because, as you all know, we had the NXT releases today. And so a lot of programs are going to be changing on the show. A lot of the storylines are going to have to go in a different direction based on some of the people who are no longer going to be there. So it is going to be, I think, an interesting episode of NXT 2.0. On top of that, it's their spring break-in show, and they got a couple of good matches announced for that. Then Wednesday, we have AEW Dynamite, and then Friday, I will be back once again for this show, for this, Rampage and SmackDown. All right. Now, let's get into Rampage, guys. Let's kick things off with my favorite match of the night, which was Darby Allin versus Swerve Strickland for the Owen Hart Cup qualifier. This was good, guys. I liked this because it was a unique match between both guys. It was a little bit of them trying new stuff. And I remember when I was backstage at Ring of Honor, and I was having a conversation with Swerve Strickland, and one of the things that he mentioned, and ever since he mentioned it, I've been paying more attention to this. He was saying that in every single match that he has when he goes out there, that he tries to do something different. And so the last couple of weeks since I had that conversation with him, I have been noticing that when he goes out there, he tries something different too. And it's always that one spot where everybody's like, oh, what is that? Where he just goes out there and just tries stuff and see what, I guess what works. So we definitely saw that in this match here. We saw a lot of really cool like countering between Darby Allin and Swerve Strickland. Every time you thought you knew what Darby Allin was going to do, he went a different direction and did something else instead, which I appreciated that. So it kind of made it cool because the story that they were telling was like these two guys, they know each other well. They got history, in the indies, they got history. So they know each other. So they have to pull out new tricks during this match. So I like that. I thought that was good. There was a moment where like Darby goes for a tope and Swerve ends up getting him with a knee strike. Why? Because he anticipated that tope. When Darby Allin goes for the coffin drop, he makes sure to get the knees up. So that was another thing there. Darby hitting the code red. That was, always fun there too. I'm trying to think if there was another moment that I liked. There was a couple more, but let's get into the finish. So for the finish, we ended up seeing Ricky Starks essentially cause a distraction, which allowed Darby Allin to go ahead and lock in a leg lock and cradle Strickland for the actual win. So it was more of a distraction finish, which obviously we don't love. I'm kind of over distraction finishes all around. But for this one here, I kind of feel like it made a little bit of sense only because I know that going into this match, I was talking about this on Wednesday. It kind of felt like 50-50. Like I legitimately did not know which direction they were going to go in. Like again, Swerve Strickland is new. And this was something that they also mentioned on commentary. He needs to go in there. He needs to get some wins. He needs to make a mark for himself, right? He's still new and needs to get these wins. But Darby Allin is Darby Allin, and he's on a different level, in terms of like star status on AEW. He's a, bigger star and more established on AEW. So I felt like they couldn't not include him in this Owen Hart Cup tournament. I felt like they could not exclude him from it. So I do think that Darby Allin was the right person to win this at the end of the day. I think they could have gone either direction though, but Darby Allin winning was perfectly fine. Even afterwards, they had a moment where Tony Schiavone was kind of talking to both of them backstage, and they kind of made peace. Darby basically said that he wasn't about what Ricky Starks did, essentially costing Swerve Strickland the match. He wasn't about that. He even said, you know what, if you want to go an extra 5 minutes, let's do it. Swerve basically said, you know what, for the Pacific Northwest, I'm gonna root for you. Good luck. So they kind of made peace with each other backstage. So I did like that little addition because they don't normally do those little additions like that. So now Darby Allin is moving on into the Owen Hart Cup tournament, and he is being added with Samoa Joe, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, and Dax Harwood. It's shaping up to have some good names in there. And lastly, let's go ahead before we move on. Let's get this super chat from Christopher Marino, who says they have to be setting up Swerve versus Starks for a double or nothing. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. They've been telling this program now with Hobbs and Starks and Keith Lee and Swerve for a couple of weeks now. I like this. I've been liking the story from the very beginning. It was crystal clear. Guys that are, upset about the new guys coming in. Simple, believable, cool. And Starks, I've mentioned before, has a lot of charisma. And so does Swerve. Two different types of charismas, though. They have different energy, different vibes, but they both bring something to the table. So I would like to see if they did something similar to that at Double or Nothing. Thank you so much to Christopher Marino for the super chat here. And let's go ahead and jump into... we got people sending some predictions here. This is from Amir, who says early prediction for the finals, Darby versus Adam Cole. We also had another prediction. This one's from Sean, who says, my prediction for the finals, for the Owen Cup, Adam Cole and Dax Harwood. Oh, so we got some different, we got two people already who are seeing Adam Cole in the finals, but not the exact same person. Not this exact same person. Okay. Mike New York says Swerve needs wins. He does need wins. And they also need to not only have them on Rampage. They mainly kind of have them always on Rampage. I would say put them in, Dynamite as well. Mix it up a little bit. In terms of the guys that they've announced so far for the Owen Hart Cup, Samoa Joe, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, Dax, Darby. Based on these names right now, ideally, I kind of want to see. No, but they wouldn't do this. I can't decide here. I want to see Samoa Joe in the finals. I want to see Samoa Joe in the finals, but something tells me it has to be Adam Cole in the finals. I don't expect to see Kyle O'Reilly in the finals. And Dax, possibly. I could see him in the finals too. So the three people I can see in the finals, Adam Cole, Samoa Joe, and Dax. Those are the people that I can see in the finals. I don't see Darby in the finals, and I don't see Kyle O'Reilly in the finals. So make what you will from that. Alrighty, so now let's go ahead and move on. So on AEW on Wednesday, they basically made a tease, MJF and Shawn Spears, that we're going to be seeing W. Morrissey in AEW against Wardlow. Now, he didn't outright say W. Morrissey, so if it's not W. Morrissey, don't come at me and be like, Denise, you said W. Morrissey. No, it's just a big assumption that everybody believes it's going to be W. Morrissey based on the 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that, and all of that. So based on those, clues, everybody's expecting W. Morrissey. And, so Shawn Spears kind of reiterates that once again. He talks about the 7 feet tall, and then he says that the person that is coming in, that he has a lot of PP, try to make a joke, PP for pinnacle potential is what Shawn Spears says. And again, a further tease that it may be W. Morrissey. Alrighty, and now let's go ahead and get into our next portion here surrounding Chris Jericho. I love this. By the way, I forgot to mention that earlier in the night in the opening match, I really loved the back and forth between Chris Jericho and Taz. I thought that they were really feeding off of each other really nicely in a way that was really funny. So I liked that. I forgot to mention that. But Jericho announces himself as the sports entertainer of the week. He's been doing this now for a couple of weeks now, where he named somebody sports entertainer of the week. This time he chose himself because of the fireball to Eddie Kingston's face on Dynamite. And my favorite thing about this was, as he's there in the commentary booth, Santana comes in all fired up, red freaking hot. Okay, he comes in and just goes in right on Jericho and starts beating him up, starts pounding him, etc. I love that. The dude put a fireball in his friend's face. He put a fireball in his friend's face. Why wouldn't he be pissed off? Why wouldn't he be there, wanting to get his hands on Chris Jericho? So I love this. They made this a match for Dynamite. We are going to be seeing Santana versus Chris Jericho, and I am totally here for that. Totally here for that. I love this. I thought the way that they made this all workout was good. And even when the broadcast ended, they had Jericho close out the broadcast with, and I'm gonna beat up, I forgot what he said. I tweeted it out. He said like, oh, and I'm gonna beat up Santana. I forgot what he said, but it was really funny. So anyways, that was all good stuff there. Alrighty. Moving on, we have a super chat. Thank you so much to Power Driver Finisher, who says Santana had to be thinking on site. On site, man. Thank you, Power Driver Finisher. Alrighty. We had a quick trios tag team match between Red Velvet, Kiera Hogan, Jade Cargill, Willow, Skye Blue, and Trish Adora. This was a very quick match. I think they should have given this match more time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to make a little like, what do you call them? A little sign. Make a little picket sign every time. I think there should be a match with more time. It's going to pull it up. More time. There was nothing to say about this. I didn't think anybody stood out to me in this match. Not one person where I was like, oh, wow, they did great. No, because they didn't have enough time to show me anybody. This was a quick match. Jade gets the win. She ends up pinning Trish Adora. And that's it. The baddies get the win. I don't care any more or any less for the baddies because I didn't see anything that made me feel less or more in this match. More time. We got a super chat from Sheldon Jackson who says, I have Cole versus Darby in the Owen Hart Cup and FTR Red Dragon for the ROH World Tag Team Championships at Double or Nothing. Cole and Darby in the Owen Cup. We got a couple people now with Cole and Darby in the Owen Cup. All right. I like to see where you guys are thinking. FTR and Red Dragon for the ROH World Tag Team titles at Double or Nothing. That would be good too. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Thank you, Sheldon Jackson. Christopher Marino says Willow never even tagged in. Did she not? I don't think she did. I don't remember. There wasn't anything that happened in this match. There wasn't anything. King of Huecamundo says, I wanted to see more of Skye Blue. I agree. Skye Blue is lovable. I want to see more of Skye Blue too. True says the baddies made a part of me stand out. Oh no, I just got that. Oh, I shouldn't have read that. Guys. Jesus. M. Caspito says the women's trios on Dark get more time. I don't get to watch Dark, so I can't even comment on that. And this is Andrew Cook who says, only thing I can say about the baddies is that I'm glad Kiera Hogan has something to do now. I wonder if she regrets leaving Impact Wrestling because the growth between her and her former partner, Tasha Steelz, has been so different. Like, it's night and day. Like, Tasha Steelz, Impact World Champion, getting even better in every aspect of the game. And I don't think I've seen Kiera Hogan until today. Like, if you're not watching like Dark or Dark Elevation, chances are you haven't seen Kiera Hogan. I haven't seen Kiera Hogan until like today. So I do kind of feel bad, like, in a way, because I'm sure she was probably thinking like, oh, she was going to get like a bunch of, I don't know what she thought. Can't speak for her, but there's a big difference though, in terms of the growth we've seen from Tasha Steelz since they parted ways and Kiera Hogan. So I do think that's something to be mentioned about. All right. So now moving on here, guys. And this is from YT who says Kiera had one match on Rampage a few months ago against Jade. Don't even remember. And that's not good. That's not good. Because, well, I remember the matches that are good. I don't remember anything else. Like, if it's not good, if it didn't stick out, I won't remember it. All right, let's go ahead and move on from here. And pretty much people putting over Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan as a tag team. They were a good tag team, making history on Impact too. And now, moving on from this, Keith Lee versus Colten Gunn. I was not a fan of this match. I thought this match was incredibly boring. Sorry. I didn't think it was good. I did not think this match was good. With Keith Lee and Colten Gunn, my thing was, okay, he needs to come in, hit it, and quit it, and go. This should have been more high impact. There was nothing here in this match that I found entertaining. This is not the kind of Keith Lee match that I want to see. I'm sorry, but this one was just not for me. I think they could have done a lot more, had better spots, shown the Keith Lee that we like to like. Keith Lee's matches are good when he's going in there and, like, again, hitting all his high impact moves and moving at a certain speed where you're like, oh man, like that guy that big moving like that. I think Colten Gunn, yeah, it was just not. This match could have been like on Dark or Dark Elevation, not necessarily on AEW Rampage. They could have reworked this match, definitely. So anyways, we end up seeing Keith Lee Keith Lee gets the win, obviously. That's fine. Colt 45 on Gunn. Fine. But the match itself was nothing. True says, thanks, Denise. Love you. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. All right, let's see what we got here. This is from the Kyoput, who says the Keith Lee match was disappointing. I hate it when people blow a spot, then try it again immediately. Just move on. You botched it. Keep going. Yeah, it was not. Amir says SmackDown must have really sucked the life out of you. Guys, look, I am legitimately honest when I watch stuff, okay? I either like it or I don't. And I've come to the point where I realize that you have to be honest in these review shows, because there's going to come a day, and there's a bunch of days that come, where I tell you guys on these shows, dude, go out of your way. Watch this match. It's really good. Now, imagine if I was doing that for every single match and some of those matches didn't even live up to the expectation. You'd be like, damn, Denise just says she likes everything, but she doesn't even like everything. I need to be honest. When I don't like something, the people need to know it on the show. I didn't like this. Thank you so much to Amira for making me laugh here. All right. Mike New York says SmackDown sucked the life out of everybody. Oh man, now everybody's blaming SmackDown. Oh man, everybody's blaming SmackDown for the things I didn't like on Rampage. Drama. All right, moving on from this, we got a backstage promo. The Hardy Boys, we have Jeff talking about entering the solo dimension and facing Bobby Fish on Dynamite. That's going to be a fun matchup there. And the Bucks dancing like Jeff Hardy was funny too backstage. I think Bobby Fish called him Jeff Hardly in the promo, like on purpose though, not by accident, like on purpose. And I wanted to make a joke because do you guys remember when Mike Adamle called Jeff Hardy Jeff Harvey? I wanted to make a joke about that, but then I forgot. So I needed to save it for this podcast. Anyways, moving on from this here. M. Caspito says, Denise, your heel turn is now confirmed. Leonard Aaron says it's tough to transition from one bad show to one good one. Nope, that's not true. That's not true, guys. There's been some bad episodes of SmackDown followed by some really good episodes of Rampage, okay? Danhausen and Hookhausen is definitely a thing. And this one was interesting too because when they made the announcement on Dynamite, everybody, even myself and a bunch of websites too, I was looking at a bunch of websites and like nearly everybody got it wrong. Everybody was promoting Danhausen versus Hook. And everybody thought that it was going to be Danhausen versus Hook. It got a massive pop. The crowd thought it was going to be Danhausen versus Hook. Everybody thought it. I had to delete my tweets because I told people it was Danhausen versus Hook. And I was like, oh my God, no, it's not. Delete. Delete. So this ended up being a face-to-face confrontation. Danhausen comes out and he basically says that he's here to annihilate. There you go. Annihilate. I couldn't get it. Annihilates. That he's here to annihilate Hook. And this was hilarious. I loved this portion of Rampage. So he's here to annihilate Hook. He says, send Hook. And so Hook comes out, and then Danhausen, once he's like face to face with him, he's like, well, maybe it's a little bit too extreme. Maybe we should do this another time. And so he kind of backs out from it. And it's really funny because Hook's like he's not playing any games with him here. And so then we have Mark Sterling. He comes out and he basically ends up breaking up the tension between Hook and Danhausen by saying like, oh, this is something that you guys want, the crowd. Well, I don't want this and that. And so he distracts them, and Tony Nese comes from behind and attacks Danhausen and Hook. And so then we get a little interaction between Tony Nese and Danhausen. Tony Nese and Hook. But then afterwards we get Danhausen is kind of like trying to make friends with Hook towards the end, and he like patted him on the chest or something, and Hook like turns back, like he just snaps right away, and then he like grabs Danhausen, and that was really good too. So I liked all of this. I like how they're teasing this, like, are they friends? Are they not friends? Are they gonna be friends? Will Danhausen win the heart of Hook? What's going to happen here? Like, we're all expecting them to be BFFs at some point, but we're making our way there. I like that they didn't make it that immediately after this attack from Tony Nese that they were all magically just going to be friends. I liked that Hook was kind of just like, nah, bro, like this ain't happening right now. I liked that. I liked they didn't do the friendship thing instantly. I want to see it blossom. I want to see the friendship blossom. So anyways, I love this. Definitely rooting for Hookhausen here. Alrighty, and now let's go ahead. Jesus. Okay, sorry guys. I'm keep blocking these like pervert YouTube accounts, these like bots. There's like YouTube bots where they're like promoting porn. I'm blocking them, but they keep coming. All right. Moving on from this, we got a promo from Mercedes. Obviously, she's going to be going up against Deonna Purrazzo, and she says she's going to be the true undisputed champion. I have a feeling Mercedes Martinez is going to get the win, but it's still going to be very awesome to see Deonna Purrazzo get her moment on AEW Dynamite. She is a great women's wrestler. She's become the face of Impact Wrestling. So I'm very happy and excited that she's going to get this opportunity on Dynamite in front of a larger audience for them to get to see Deonna Purrazzo's work. So I'm looking forward to all of that here. Alrighty, and this is a comment from Jeff who says, I really want Danhausen to surprise people when he does a wrestling move. Everyone would have an oh damn moment. People are going to pop whenever he does anything. Like, it's working, guys. It's really working. He's definitely getting over with people of all ages. Alrighty, and lastly, we had our match between Samoa Joe and Trent Barreta for the ROH World Television Champion. A couple things to note here. We had Ian Riccaboni on commentary, Bobby Cruz as the ring announcer. So happy that they had Ian Riccaboni on commentary. He is such a good freaking guy. Very nice, a very, very happy person. And so I was very happy to see him at the table getting this opportunity to call this match on Rampage. A really big deal, I think. So good for him. On top of this match was perfectly fine. It was a good main event, a solid little main event that we got. Some good spots. Barreta went for a tornado DDT. At one point, Samoa Joe's like tossing him. We saw Samoa Joe hit a couple of chops. Simple match. Samoa Joe gets the win. And afterwards, we got to talk about what happened afterwards, because Tony is doing an interview with Samoa Joe following the match. They're doing like a post-match interview, but instead they're interrupted by Satnam Singh, Sanjay Dutt, and Jay Lethal. So they all come out and they end up brawling, and it ends up being that in the final moments in the ring, we have Samoa Joe and Jay Lethal going at it. And I love this because, as you guys all know, back in like early 2000s, 2004, 2005, somewhere around there, Jay Lethal was the protege of Samoa Joe, and they have history. And this was something that obviously commentary was making sure to know, like, hey, these two guys, they have history. We have Jay Lethal, who has the most successful title defenses for the Ring of Honor title. But then you have Samoa Joe, who has the longest title reign as Ring of Honor champion. And, Jay Lethal kind of maybe feeling like he's been in the shadows of Samoa Joe, that sort of thing. So I feel like given this, like, history of all of that. They're playing to it now, and I like that. I like it because I'm like, well, you're bringing back Ring of Honor. You brought back Ring of Honor. Why not touch on some of these things that hold a piece of the history of Ring of Honor, tie it all in together. So all of this was good. I'm looking forward to it. I know that the match is going to be good whenever they just do decide to do Samoa Joe and Jay Lethal. So I like this. This was perfectly fine. A good way to end the show, I think. Alrighty. Any thoughts on this here and see what people are saying about this? The Kip Kyoput says Joe knows the perfect level to sell for every opponent. Definitely does. See, freaking Samoa Joe's incredible, but we already kind of knew that, though. We already knew that. Oh my God. All right. Let's see. Let's get some more comments in here and then I'll wrap this up here. This is from Jeff Perullo, who says Joe versus Trent was good stuff. I feel like we haven't seen OC super kicks in forever. Adam Bull says, I'm sick of Satnam Singh. He's not good. We know why he's there though, guys. We know why he's there and we've only seen him a couple of times. I think that the way that they used him today was harmless because he just went out there. It was part of a brawl. Didn't take up too much time. It wasn't like he came out and was the big reveal again. They learned their lesson with the lights out thing, I think, after the Satnam Singh stuff. He's gonna have to bounce back from that, guys. His start in Dynamite, unfortunately, gave everybody a sour note. So now they kind of have to give us Satnam Singh in limited bits, I think, so that the people won't feel like irritated by him. Because we all know he ain't gonna go out there and have no 5-star match. Like, we already know this, but he's there for a reason. And it is what it is, guys. As long as they don't overdo it, I think it'll be fine at this point. It'll be fine. Andrew Cook says Ian Riccaboni was really good on commentary. I hope they use him more after the match stuff. Felt a little repetitive to me. Yeah, he's great. I hope they see him. I hope we get to see him a little bit more. YT says, I've been sick of the Satnam Singh since the lights went out after Suzuki Joe. That's what I mean, guys. Like, because his debut was so bad that now let's just say he were to go out there and have a 5-star match, people would still be like, Satnam Singh? Nah, because I hated that debut that he had. So I don't blame you. It's going to take a while. We'll see what he does. We'll see how they book him. We'll see if they make him. Maybe he can win the hearts over of people. You never know. Seems like a nice guy. All right. That's about it, guys. There you go. That was AEW Rampage. That was WWE SmackDown, April 29th. Thank you guys so much, as always, for coming on here on this Friday evening. A good time. I will be back again next week. As always, have an awesome weekend, everybody. I hope you guys have a good time. We have a final super chat to read. This is from Jeff Perullo, who says, keep annoying Sean on Wednesdays. I annoy him on Mondays, actually. Actually, I annoy him every day. Sometimes I just bug him for fun on Twitter. Thank you so much to Jeff, though, for sending this super chat. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys later. Have an awesome weekend, everybody.